Microsoft. Well, Ubisoft's current... Everybody's soft. Stop being so soft.
Be
Stupid.
hard.
Hard. Micro hard.
Maybe don't
You be hard. You be hard, and you be hard, and you be hard.
Maybe not. Maybe don't be hard in this case.
Why I am. All right. This is a really bad thing to say, like talking about a sexual harassment thing.
That's why I said don't go this route, and then you went there.
Oh, yeah, I tend to do that. Following a series of abuse and misconduct allegations against Ubisoft employees, Ubisoft has outlined the major changes it will take in the future to prevent these issues occurring again. As revealed during Ubisoft's Q1 2020-2021 earnings call, Ubisoft co-founder and CEO Yves Guillemot began to address the same issues with the following quote. While Ubisoft's current performance and business prospects are stronger than ever, we nonetheless face a very serious challenge following the recent allegations and accusations of misconduct and inappropriate behavior. Behave yourself. You got some bad behavior within your grub. All right. I am determined to make profound changes in order to improve and strengthen our corporate culture. We already have acted swiftly and firmly. Announcing and introducing large-scale initiatives intended to transform our organization. This whole thing is just a dumpster fire.
Firmly, I'm sure you did.
I'm sure you were firm about it. Our overriding aim... Jesus. All right. Our overriding aim is ensuring that all Ubisoft employees have a safe and inclusive workspace environment. As a leader in our industry, we have to be intransigent in order to create an exemplary culture where everyone feels respected and valued. This is vital to ensure that all of the talented people who make up Ubisoft feel fulfilled in their jobs. Following 3 top executives and the creative director of Assassin's Creed Valhalla stepping down, as well as other employees being removed or resigning, Ubisoft revealed the major changes it will take, including a series of investigations will take place by independent external consultants, and a, quote, confidential third-party managed listening and alert platform has been put in place to enable employees as well as external individuals to anonymously report any harassment, discrimination, or other inappropriate behavior. Holy mackerel. There's a lot. This external company will deliver regular reports to Ubisoft's board of directors. Additionally, a support and recovery unit has been put in place that is being overseen by an organization specialized in helping victims of harassment. Guillemot is personally overseeing a review of the composition and reorganization of the editorial department and is overhauling the way these teams work together. Ubisoft will be transforming its HR process in order to better prevent, detect, and sanction inappropriate behavior. In an effort to do this in the best way, it has selected a leading consultancy firm to perform an external audit. Furthermore, team leads' bonuses will be tied to their ability to create a positive and inclusive workplace environment, and a harassment awareness raising campaign among all Ubisoft employees will be in place that will take the form of training modules. Ubisoft has launched a group-wide questionnaire to obtain their feedback on a totally anonymous basis and has put in place talking and listening sessions for employees on all of its sites with the aim of addressing their suggestions and concerns and identifying areas for improvement. A head of workplace culture has been appointed, and a new head of diversity and inclusion position has been created, and this position will be open to both internal and external candidates. Both of these roles will report directly to Guillemot. These changes were announced a day after Bloomberg released a wide-ranging report that further detailed Ubisoft's history of internal abuse and sexism and included stories of multiple Assassin's Creed games scraped of minimized to do a perception that games won't sell with a strong female lead. All right.
Wait, being scrapped or minimized?
Oh, so no, it's supposed to say or, but it says of. And I don't know. It must have been a typo in the article.
Yeah, but it still doesn't make any sense if you read the whole story. I don't get it.
It must have been the women in multiple Assassin's Creed games starring women were scrapped or their roles were minimized.
To do...
Right. So, anyhow, This is just a follow-up to all the allegations and stuff that we reported on previously that you can check out right above. If you want, you can click on that little link. It'll take you to our other episode all about Ubisoft being a piece of crap.
Okay. Some of this stuff that they're talking about scares me.
Okay.
But the idea of outside, the idea of third party group that people can go to say, hey, something happened, so that they feel comfortable in reporting and that you know that something will be done about it. I mean, I'm all about that, but this idea of head of workplace culture and head of diversity and inclusion and all this like 1984 ridiculousness, that scares the crap out of me.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know. It just gives me a not great feeling.
I'm going to assume that it's not going to be bad.
External
I
audits.
I hope that it helps.
Harassment awareness raising campaign. Now that one could be interesting. A harassment raising campaign.
Like we're raising more harassment.
See, this right here. Okay, Ubisoft has launched a group-wide questionnaire to obtain their feedback on a totally anonymous basis and has put in place talking and listening sessions for employees on all of its sites with the aim of addressing their suggestions and concerns and identifying areas for improvement. That, I think, is really like a large part, like all they really have to do. This head of diversity and inclusion, like, what do you need? What for? What?
I mean, I think that like what they were saying is like, you know, like if you're talking about diversity, you know, like the fact that I'm sure that they talk about the Assassin's Creed games that were like, we were going to go with a woman character, but then we didn't because we perceived that women don't sell games and stuff like that, which is like obviously dumb, you know, like if they're like there to blow the whistle on that stuff and be like, hey, like, look, this is really stupid that you're going to be like, women don't sell games, you know, like if that's what they're supposed to be doing, then that's fine. And yeah, I don't know. This just comes from the top, right? So like this is something that the people at Ubisoft want to focus on. So if they want to hire more diverse people, then they're going to need somebody that like ensures that they do that. And like, I guess maybe this stuff sneaks up on them where like they have this problem because the guys that were up top had no idea that like they had this stuff going on. And so like if you go at it from like, we want our studio to be diverse and inclusive as a goal, then I think that you need to put somebody in a position that's like in charge of doing that. What their job is, I have no idea. Like what do they look at? I don't know. Like what are they trying to ensure at the studio? Like that there's a certain amount of people that are of this minority group or of this gender or of this sexual orientation or something like that. Like I don't know what the head of diversity and inclusion does at a company really. So I don't know. Like I don't know how to.
I think it's absurd. I mean, how about you just hire the people who are best fit for the job, and you worry about everything else secondary because that's what's important. Your job is to make video games. Hire people that are good at making video games, and don't touch people without their permission. That's what the problem was. I don't know how diversity and inclusion got into this when that wasn't part of the problem.
Well,
the problem was they couldn't keep their hands to themselves.
It wasn't what we had read, right? I think maybe there was another thing that came out amongst all of this crap that was something about people being racist or something like that. I don't know the full story.
I don't know. I just hire people regardless of their color. And hire them and gender and hire them based upon their skills.
I know that's fine and good, but they don't do that. You know. That's why that they have that in the first place as a thing.
I don't think that's true. I think everyone does that.
You really don't, because I can tell you for sure that I know people that have not hired people because of stuff like that. Like personally, I know it. So like maybe you'd expect more from Ubisoft, sure. Like you'd think like, oh, a multinational corporation that makes billions of dollars. They wouldn't do that, but I know people in like my podunk trash town that are that way.
Yeah, sure.
So it'd be really nice if there was like a head of diversity and inclusion to come in and be like, hey, I noticed that you just throw all the black people's applications in the trash, Mr. Racist Business Owner. Why is that? Now that's their choice, but also like, do we really want somebody out there in the community that's like that? I think that like we'd admonish them if they were just like, if they honestly came to you and were like, yeah, I have this business, but I just don't like black people. I don't hire them. You'd be like, that's kind of crappy, bro. Like,
absolutely. But I'm saying in terms of why Ubisoft is doing this, I don't understand, because I don't think Ubisoft has this problem. I don't think Ubisoft is going through and going, okay, no black people today. We're not hiring any black people.
Maybe they're not. Maybe this is just maybe this is the way they see the industry moving too. Maybe this is a proactive rather than a reactive move by them.
And while we're on that, like I understand like race and beliefs are different, but if you're gonna say you need a head of diversity and inclusion, so that you make sure that people, like, you can't decide on who you hire. You can't not hire a black person just because they're black. You have to have another reason, which, like, understand, I'm not arguing that. What I'm trying to say is, like, let's say you have you're the Washington, like, hold on. Let's say you're the New York Times.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And you're a heavily liberal newspaper. Mm-hmm. So now your head of diversity and inclusion goes, but you don't have any Republicans on your staff. Mm-hmm. Well, you should be able to say, I don't want anyone with those viewpoints. And I know those are different things. That it's not an exact equation, but I'm saying, like, so do you understand kind of where I'm trying to go with this? Like,
I guess, but I mean, like, you're talking about like a paper wanting to have people that they hire based on like their political affiliation, which is fine to do. Like political affiliations aren't like an uncontrollable thing about your person though, like like if you're like, oh well, I just don't want Muslims at my place, like it's like, sure, I guess that's your choice, but like, I don't know. It's not like somebody's choice to be like born Muslim and just like grow up and be Muslim or something like that, It
is. It's your religion. It's your belief.
Well, right, but it's like it's their freedom.
It's like saying you can't. It's like saying you can't choose to be a Christian.
Well, right, but like we protect people's right to religion. We don't protect people's like right to like be a political affiliation. Like it's not your right to be hired because like there should be Republicans here, like it's, but I think that we're drawing the line of like decency from being like, look, if you want to be and market yourself as a liberal magazine and hire liberal people to talk about the things that you're interested in, that's fine. But like,
well, then we're completely off topic because it's not even anything.
It's a good topic.
Because like if you're a church or a religious institution, and you believe certain things, you shouldn't be forced to hire anybody that believes differently. In the same way that if you're the New York Times, you shouldn't have to hire a Republican. It's the same thing. Those are choices that you can make. So
yeah, I don't know.
Freedom of association. And when you break it down that way, there's no need for a head of diversity and inclusion. If you're a piece of trash company who won't hire people based on the color of their skin, then people can recognize that and go, okay, you know what? I'm not buying anything from you.
Well, right, but why do you think that they're doing this? Is because they know that's what will happen, Joe. That's why they're hiring that person, so that they can continue to look like not pieces of crap companies. Is what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, because it's
they
all
don't
to
just
look
like, they don't
that way.
Yeah, exactly.
To look that way.
Yeah, I mean, like Guillemot obviously is at the top of this. He pretends that he didn't know anything about this or whatever. He definitely did, and I don't know if like, the head of diversity and inclusion is really going to like change his mind on certain things, but like also that person exists and can like go out and speak out on their own now and be like, hey, I've been saying this stuff, this guy's ignoring me. Like there's ways that, this stuff gets the ball moving in a positive way, whether it is just, them just trying to cover themselves. I understand, but like
that's all this plays off as to me, is just companies being just covering their butts.
It definitely is, but
it's ridiculousness.
But it's like, okay, Republicans love the open market, right? And how like, like the market will dictate this or that. Well, the market is dictating that people want this stuff.
Well, then you can have it.
So there you go.
That's good. I think that I like that they're doing stuff to try to handle this problem. They're trying to make moves to make sure that they protect their female staffers. That's wonderful. I mean, because we had a whole episode where we talked about how terrible this all was, and you can click on the link.
Yeah.
I'm not. I guess you're right. I think you took me in that argument. The market is speaking. So this is what we're gonna have.
Yeah. And, hopefully it leads to good things. There's always a way that things could lead to bad things.
Yeah, I'm hoping for good things. Obviously. I want terrible bad things to happen.
No good, terrible, bad.
All over the place to everyone.
We went from like completely inappropriate to like really serious.
That's our brand, baby. All right.
Completely inappropriate, sometimes really serious.
Thanks for listening to another Nonsensory clip. You can check us out in audio form by finding us on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, and Stitcher. If you'd rather see us floundering around, subscribe to us on YouTube or come check out our regular Tuesday stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/nonsensory at 7:30 Eastern Time. On social media, we tweet at Nonsensory1, and you can find us on Facebook at Nonsensory Podcast. You can also support us on Patreon. Just go to patreon.com/nonsensorypod.